That's it. Pick up the
After hearing about the passing of Canadian icon Alex Trebek, we have all been reflecting on what he meant to us. Joining us now is a former Jeopardy contestant from Toronto to tell us how he affected her life and how the Jeopardy community is reacting. We welcome back Michelle Cabral. Michelle, it's so good to see you, although it's so sad under these circumstances, as we all found out yesterday that Alex Trebek passed. Talk to us a little bit. First of all, we'll back it up. I can't believe it's been so long since you've been on this show. We were celebrating your wins. I know it was your dream to always appear on the show. You loved it as a little one. So what was it like when you met Alex for the first time?
Surprisingly enough, I didn't meet Alex for the first time at the show when I was taping. I actually met him for the first time at my audition in Toronto that previous fall. He surprised us all. It was the week that he was getting the Order of Canada, and so he dropped by auditions that week that were happening. And in between our written tests and when our mock game was supposed to happen, he just walked into the room and everybody just went, shh. Oh my God, I can't believe it's him. And he answered questions with us for 20 minutes. We got to chat with him, and we took pictures with him, and it was unbelievable. I don't think anybody could have predicted that happening. It doesn't really happen at auditions.
How great is that, too? People continuously speak about his generosity, that it never got to his head. You know, not only this Canadian icon, but he won a World Guinness record for tenure as a game show host, 36 years. And it was around, I think, in the 60s and 70s, and he revived it. And there was something about his delivery that people loved that made it a mainstay. So when you were then on the show, what was it like having him host you through the actual game?
I can tell you right now, and this is something that I've said over and over again to people, that first and foremost, Alex loved to point out the fact that he was Canadian. He loved to showcase his Canadian roots. He loved it when Canadians were on the show. I remember during my tapings how any little bit of Canadian-related trivia, any kind of CanCon within a clue, there would be some kind of an aside or a joke, to me, because, a kind of thing of like, oh, you should know that, being Canadian. So he loved to, that was a point of pride for him. And I think he really enjoyed, especially seeing when Canadians on the show did well.
What do you want us to know about Alex? Because when he came forward with the diagnosis, we all, of course, feared for him stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And we thought if anyone was going to beat the odds, it was him through his determination, his strength. He was very honest about, the struggles and the tough times undergoing chemo. What do you want us to remember fondly about Alex Trebek?
His engagement with everyone that he met. When you're on that stage as a contestant, you don't get a whole lot of time with him one-on-one. Basically, the in-person, the after the break interviews, and then a short moment after taping is done of that episode when the credits are rolling. But seeing him during commercial breaks, holding Q&As with the audience. And I'm sure he's been asked some of those questions thousands and thousands of times throughout, his 36-year run. But he always answered it as if he was answering it the first time. He always made you feel like what you had to say and what you had to ask him was truly important at that moment.
Beautiful. Always gracious and kind. And I think that's why people loved him so much and will always love him. He's forever a part of the fabric of pop culture, of Canadiana. And I think his human spirit and what he was able to deliver through the small screen every night is why he's so beloved. And, we're sending our condolences to his family, his friends, and everybody who grew up and who's a fan of this show. And thank you so much for sharing your beautiful memories with him today. Love to you and everybody in class. And thank you for doing what you do as a teacher all the time, too. It's important work that you do, Michelle.
I got to go set up. I have class in about an hour.
Okay, well, consider this your late note, Teach. Thank you so much, hon. Take care. Good to see you again.
Thank you.
We'll be back with
too.
more BT right after this.